Okay. Hey, hey. All right.
Right.
Cool.
Nice.
That actually worked out kind of well because we had a little bit of a preamble warm up. Had a couple of cocktails before we started getting a conversation. Okay, so thank you so much for Audrey for joining me for this conversation. I everything that I've been reading about your project, projects plural, because I didn't know until I did a little more research that this is the second compilation you've done in support of aid to Palestine, and also please correct me if any of my terminology is wrong, because I'm not always great with that, but I guess
Yeah,
just
same here.
yeah, just
Yeah.
to kind of keep this and I'm Kurt, and I'm talking on behalf of my website, Bad Penny, and I've been doing a series over the last year called On Tyranny. Um, and I began it because I had a bad feeling about what might happen in November, and I began to talk with artists around the world who had either lived under or were currently living under authoritarian regimes, musicians. And the goal was to talk with them about just what it's like and how you adapt as an artist and how you survive as an artist, and um, what you what kind of negotiations you have to make, what kind of sacrifices you have to make, what you do to survive, and then what you want to die on a hill for. So, what's happened recently in the last 6 months is that now the series has expanded to include American musicians and artists as well. And now, as a kind of a third evolution, I'm now speaking with people who are involved in efforts to combat authoritarianism, whether they be activists or authors, or because I'm learning that musicians, you know, God bless them, but a lot of times musicians, like, I guess what's that whole left right brain thing, like they kind of need some guidance, sometimes. So anyway, so it's a delight to speak with you. Can you introduce yourself and talk with us about the organizations that you're involved in? And we're going to get very quickly to dive into the compilations of bands that have made these songs to help benefit relief efforts in Palestine and Gaza.
Yeah. I'm Audrey Keelin. I'm not really involved in any organizations right now, other than working on this compilation. I moved to New York about a year and a half ago, and when I first moved here, I was really excited about like participating in, flyering and like um direct action sort of things, but I have kind of refined that since then into like using my skills and using the things that I like feel really called to do um to raise money if needed, to deepen community and to have conversations, um
Mm.
and yeah, I'm really excited about this compilation. um and yeah, just like I would say that in general I am more deeply rooted in like the the web of community of people rather than like one specific organization, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, just like finding like deep meaning and doing whatever I can to connect people with each other within my community. But um
Okay.
yeah, Artists United for a Free Palestine is a name that we gave to this community of people who are organizing for this compilation, and like anything that has to do with the compilation. So we put together a couple shows, and we just decided that we wanted to have a name that wasn't like one of our names. So we made that up.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just been going for a couple years now. It started with the first compilation album that we made, and then has, yeah, just continued until now.
Yeah. And something that can't be overstated about the compilations is the just the massive number of bands that are involved in them. I mean, I think you're, if
Hmm.
I'm not mistaken, your first compilation had 50, like around 53, 55 tracks, and this one has like 63 or 65 songs by different
Hmm.
artists. And
Hmm.
there's like a little bit of overlap with the artists, but generally speaking,
Hmm.
you probably got more than 100 artists combined on board with this effort. Um,
Yeah.
can you talk about how you went, how you went about spreading the word and approaching artists about participating in this?
Yeah, I can kind of get into the nitty gritty if you want, like the,
Yeah,
specific organization of how we did this so
please.
that, anyone can do it themselves. But yeah, so it started last year with my bandmates and I play in a band called Hiding Places, and we just yeah, like we started by listing all the bands that we know that we are friends with, or like that would, maybe be down to like do a favor for us kind of thing.
Yeah,
And then like as we kept listing bands, we were like, honestly, I think that we should just like, expand the realm of possibility beyond like what we initially would assume, by people that we know closely or like through the community, whatever. And so we just started like writing down a lot of names of artists that like maybe we have never met before, but we really admire their work, or like we know that they sort of, you know, um, they possibly would be interested in contributing a song, or they, might want to support in some kind of way. So
sure.
yeah, we just made that list, and then we just like wrote a sort of like a template email to send to all of these artists,
Right.
and then edited it to each one, um, based on just, yeah, I guess like how we know them and like what questions we might have for them, and then we all split up that giant list of artists by who would want to reach out to them. So like we had this spreadsheet that was just like, I will reach out to these people, my bandmate Henry who plays drums will reach out to these people, and Nicholas who plays guitar will reach out to these people, and so on. And then yeah, it was just sort of like a um lock in for a few hours in the morning or something before work, and just like email a bunch of people, or text a bunch of people, or call a bunch of people.
Yeah.
um and then it was a very similar process for this compilation too, but we sort of included more people on our team, and asked more people to reach out, and kind of, yeah, it was just more like, because we did it once, now we're learning how to do it again, kind of thing.
Sure. So how big was the initial core group, and what size is it now?
Um, at the beginning, in terms of reaching out to people and asking them to be on the compilation, it was just me and my bandmates. And now it's me and my bandmates and another band called Pencil Dive, and well, actually two people from Pencil Dive. Um, but it definitely has just become like anyone who was asked can ask other people. It's like, I feel like it's just, yeah, it's like this amorphous sort of blob of like whoever wants to be involved, like
Yeah.
is a big part of it too.
Right. So like, for lack of a better term, like bottom up, kind of,
Uh,
yeah, not top down,
yeah,
sort
I'm
of.
trying to think of metaphors right now.
Yeah.
Cellular, some sort of cell metaphor is coming into my head. Yeah, I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
what you
yeah.
understand.
Yeah, yeah. You're
Yeah,
right.
just like growing,
What's
like
that?
growing. It's just growing in size. Like, um, yeah, I just want as many people to be involved as we can handle, I guess. Yeah.
So okay, so here's one of the key questions I wanted to ask you was, do you find that it's growing in size? Um, Maybe exponentially is a little bit too lofty of a term, because I mean, if that were the case, you'd be doubling or tripling in size every day. But it is growing quickly, and you've had, over the course of a year now, you have again, 10 more artists participating on this compilation than the previous one, roughly, right? Am I
Mhm.
kind of on track with that?
Mhm.
Do you feel like that's because when more people started getting on board, that reduced the apprehension of people who wanted to be involved but were maybe a little bit fearful.
Yeah, I would say that, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I mean, that seems to be, it seems to be a new kind of a like social, emotional, psychological issue that the whole country is grappling with in a lot of ways. Like,
Mhm.
like, oh, I don't know if I should say something. It's funny
Yeah.
because I don't want to get too much on a tangent here, but like, you know, I mean, you think about, yeah, this is probably too much of a digression. I should learn my YouTube skills so I could probably cut this out. But you remember like
Okay.
at the I think it was at the Grammys when no, it was at the Oscars when like Will Smith like slapped Chris Rock and like nobody in the audience like knew what to do, but they all knew it was wrong. And like
Mm,
it was like it
mhm.
took someone to stand up and say something. But it's like when you have and then you think about the fact that it was what less than 70 years ago where like in um Omaha, Nebraska, was it Omaha, Nebraska, or maybe Kansas, where a Friday night like event would be going downtown to see a lynching, you know, like
Yeah.
just
Yeah, right,
this
right.
mom mentality. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
um,
that's relevant. All that is so relevant. I
yeah.
don't think it's a digression.
Have you found that? So here's kind of maybe a more positive spin on it. There has to be. Have you found that there's an infectiousness that when people get involved with contributing to an effort that is about saving lives and in just very real stark terms about you see the images on, and I don't use social media but I still see the images of we can to even talk about it is enough to bring one to tears. But starvation campaign and children losing limbs, just to see um, that people galvanize,
Mhm.
come together and really try to act upon something
Yeah.
that's good versus something that's
Yeah.
bad. Have you found that in your mission? I'm sorry, I'm getting
Yeah.
over both here.
Totally. Totally. No, yeah, I totally hear that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like it's not a bad thing that like when people see other people doing something, like working together or like be involved in like a like that maybe the numbers grow because it's just like people have to be safe, like they have to look out for themselves and like it's really complicated and I feel like I have learned I've learned through doing compilations and through like seeing other people make compilations and make benefit shows and all of that that like bigger names will make more people involved in one way or another. Like bigger names will sell maybe more tickets quicker or something like that. And that's like that, it is what it is. It's totally fine. I think as long as, we are using our knowledge to serve the greater good, it's like I'm happy with that. So yeah, I guess yeah, it's just like people have to look out for themselves and like we just live in a very like, violent place to live. Like the US is a very violent place to live. Yeah. It's like we're
Yeah.
just like looking out for ourselves. So yeah, I guess it's like safety is like a major thing that I can assume that people are like searching for. And like, yeah, knowing that like we're all looking out for each other and we're all in this together is like super cool to
Yeah.
see.
So let's pull back a little bit and kind of, as if we're playing Monopoly and we got pushed back like five spaces.
Mhm.
Can you tell me why this issue has really resonated with you and Was there a certain moment or situation in your life where all of a sudden you realized that you wanted to devote yourself to this cause?
Yeah, I mean, when you first asked me to do this, I thought immediately about how I wanted to shout out my professor from UNC. I went to UNC Chapel Hill, and I'm 24. I graduated 2 years ago. Like, it's very fresh, and I feel like I'm using I'm like actively using some, important stuff that I learned there. When I was there, I studied studio art. I actually started by studying journalism. And so I resonate with what you're doing right now. But then yeah, I switched my major to studio art and I took a class with my professor. Her name is Hong On Trong, and she's a sculpture artist. She's a installation artist, and she just makes like very powerful like community pieces, I guess you could say. And I learned a lot in a class that I took with her about public art and art as activism.
Okay.
And yeah, while I was there, we made a lot of different projects together as a class. It was like a class of like under 25 people. And we made a lot of art projects together. One of the things that we made was an installation of a cop car turned into a garden at our university, and it's still there. And so I guess yeah, it's been over 2 years, and this garden that looks like an exploded cop car is like, living on the UNC campus. It was like really powerful. And yeah, what I learned from her was that like you can do anything in your means to, make a change within your own community,
Sure.
regardless of the size. And so, yeah, I guess to answer that question, like I've had the privilege of being exposed to a lot of great artists throughout my life. I grew up in Asheville, North Carolina, which is like a big place for that kind of thing. And so, yeah, I've just like had the privilege of being exposed to a lot of that stuff. So like, I feel comfortable doing it now.
Mhm.
And yeah, so that was very much born out of like Merciless Accelerating Rhythms was very much born out of that upbringing, and also specifically the class that I took with Hung On, just yeah, a little over 2 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
Really, really important stuff. Does that answer your question?
Well, absolutely. Yeah, no, certainly it is. I'm curious. So, if art installation impacted you so much, why did you decide to do compilation compilations of songs to raise money for relief for Gaza as opposed to concerts? Because concerts would
um
be a little more.
that's a good question. I think yeah, I mean, I think like throwing benefit shows, like I've also thrown benefit shows, and I want to throw more, like as many more as I can handle, um but yeah, I feel like we decided to choose making a compilation because you could just reach more people because of the internet, like, and we can reach out to more people. It like really broadens the scope of like what you're able to do in
Yeah,
terms of, yeah, just like getting more people involved.
sure.
Um, but yeah, this compilation, I actually have this flyer right here. This is the flyer for the compilation release show tomorrow, and the next day. At
Oh,
the time of filming this, recording this. This is
can you,
the
can you hold it there for a second? Fancy
yeah.
names. Yeah. Okay, so some of those artists are on the compilation and they're going to be performing there.
Yeah. So we also decided to put together two compilation release shows.
Very cool.
And yeah, I'm really excited for that. So yeah, it's just sort of, yeah, using, I think the through line of this whole project is using our gifts and, you know, our skills and what we like to do towards something that's like bigger than us, and something also that we like care about a lot. Yeah, and something that Hung On practiced in this class was like a sort of a process of listing everyone's skills. Like we took good amount of time to make long lists of all of our skills,
Mhm.
and then we shared them. And in this process of sharing them, we parsed out how we could use these skills to create like an activist project of some kind. So we kind of did the same thing with like this is like we really care about this cause, and so we want to be able to, you know, deeply consider what our skills are and what we're able to provide.
Sure.
And then like sort of parse down from there. Yeah. So like, yeah, hiding places could play a set of music if we needed to, like, to bring people out and have them, you know, donate some money. Um, yeah, these compilation the release shows are to benefit South Brooklyn Sanctuary, which is an organization that provides legal support to undocumented people. So
Excellent.
I don't know if you can see that, but
Cool.
it's but yeah, so the compilation, all the money from the compilation is going to Palestine Children's Relief Fund, and we're selling some merch at the show.
Very
At the
good.
show.
We'll put this information in the description in the video.
Nice.
Um, good. So I'm curious. When you evaluated your own skill set, did you find that you were most adept at sort of like top level, like managing or coordinating, or like, you know, what did you what did you find that you gravitated most toward wanting to do in your role?
Yeah, I mean that's something that I can do, but um and I think that's something I'm still learning how, yeah, like project managing, how I can do that um through this stuff. But yeah, I think it was mostly like that list of stuff ranged from, you know, being able to write a song or play a set of music to like, you know, having a car, you know, like being like I can drive people around if they need, or like yeah, you know, being able to like cook meals. Like I think it like ranges from like these different places. Yeah, and also ranges from like, yeah, project managing to like, you know, mastering, for example. Like my bandmate Michael mastered the entire compilation album in like a little over a week, I think, which is just amazing. Like I would just come to his studio and he would be mastering awesome songs, and I would be able to hear a little bit of them. His process of mastering was really cool too. Like yeah, just the way that he organized the songs and sequenced them was really cool. So yeah, I think it's just like knowing. Also, I know my bandmates so deeply now that it's like I know what their skills are, and I think that's like a really cool thing. That like, yeah, if you know, you have like close group of people who you know really well and you know their skills, it's like you have this awesome opportunity to suggest things that you know they would be good at,
Yeah.
and they know me in sort of in ways that I don't really know too. So they are able to suggest things that I might be really good at that I didn't even know that I was good at because they see me doing those things. You know, it's very cool.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
there's a lot of closeness involved, I guess, and yeah, just doing projects like this.
Yeah. You know, it's one of the most underrated aspects of getting involved in activism and justice is you wind up learning um, what strengths you have that you didn't realize. You know,
Totally. Yeah, yeah, it's magical.
it is magical. It's you know, some might even call it spiritual. Um, so tell me, when you're approaching, you know, artists, did it come up in conversation that the songs that they were contributing would be about the issues that are happening in the Middle East, or was that a non-issue, or were there certain artists who really wanted to contribute a song about the conflict, or you know, you know,
That's a great question. I feel like the nature of doing compilations is sort of like all of the songs kind of become about what the compilation is raising money for.
yeah,
Like whether it is, and also about whatever else the, you know, people who are hearing the songs might interpret the songs to be about, I guess. Like but but yeah, I feel like there is this sort of like interesting element of compilations where like, yeah, there is the beauty of the compilation where, you know, you can put all this music together that people can buy and download and, you know, raise money that way. But also it's this like, yeah, spiritual, like you said, experience of listening and like putting attention towards the genocide, you know, and like putting attention towards um hoping for and working towards like a safer and more free world. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like uh that's something that I'm really grateful about in terms of the like depth of meaning that like making projects like this has. Kind of
Sure.
as you do it more meaning comes out of it.
Absolutely. Have you heard any reports about people over there who are aware of the compilations?
I actually haven't.
Mm-hmm.
No, but um
I mean,
I would be interested to know.
what's that? Sorry.
Oh, I would just be interested to know.
Yeah.
But I yeah, I mean that would be yeah, that would be powerful. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think I'm grateful to the, amount of people who are aware of it, like, in my immediate community and otherwise. Because yeah, it while it is raising money, I think it also is like deepening the community and showing each other that we can, yeah, that we can put attention and time and work into something that, we're not getting paid to do, but is probably more, I don't know, encouraging and giving, more hope to us than, yeah, I guess like clocking into a 9 to 5 job or something.
Of course. Yeah. Have you heard any accounts of people who are fans of any of the bands who appear or contribute to the compilations who maybe weren't aware of what was going on and then became aware because of them deciding to buy the compilation because a band they liked had a song on it, and then they became educated because of as a result of buying the compilation.
I don't know. I haven't had experiences like that yet. Where, someone who maybe, yeah, was just like not aware of the genocide or like not aware of the,
Yeah.
I don't know, different elements of it, learned about it through the compilation.
Right.
That would be, yeah, another surprising like depth of meaning if that did happen, I guess, like to making this compilation. I like that you asked that. I'm curious.
Yeah. And any accounts of people having changed their minds about things after having like, when you listen to music, it transforms you, and you think about things
Yeah,
in a different
it's
way.
true.
I mean, the word empathy gets tossed around so much these days, and it's ultimately at the end of the day, it's a good thing. But at the same time, people sort of take it for granted because it's said so often. But when you're listening to music, it can often be an act of engaging in empathy. And I'm wondering if maybe some people
Totally.
were maybe neutral or unsure, or maybe
Mhm.
swayed or thought about things a little bit differently after they heard the music. Hmm.
It's possible. It's
Yeah.
very possible.
I mean, these compositions are
Yeah,
new.
I mean,
Yeah.
wait, what'd you say?
I was gonna say these compositions are so new, you probably won't hear these stories until later. So, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah, who's to say? It could be, a possibility that, yeah, in 10 years, I learned something about this compilation that I didn't already know, or like, yeah, another layer of meaning unravels itself to me. Um, and maybe in 10 years we'll have 10 more compilations, that would be cool.
yeah, of course. Um, another thing too, is that people. It's a topic that people really shy away from talking about, and it's a whole another conversation that could probably run 3 hours longer than this one.
Mhm.
But so I really admire the fact that you are making a compilation of music that is centered around this conversation, because that's no small feat. And I'm just wondering if you encountered a lot of bands who are reluctant, who declined, who maybe kind of wavered, what was it like as you approached all these different artists and tried to get them on board and to participate?
I mean, everyone was, for the most part, really enthusiastic and excited and like honored to be involved. There was no one who, you know, made a fuss about it or whatever. I think, yeah, I don't really know what could be going on in people's heads when we ask them, to be involved. But for the most part, yeah, it was like really, really positive and really excited. And yeah, I think that's just an element of being in a music scene that I feel really grateful for, is people kind of being relatively on the same page and willing to work together. Especially yeah, when there's just this like sort of when there is someone asking them like, oh, is this, actionable thing that you can do in the next month like feasible for you? And it's, yeah, I think it's like people are super enthusiastic, and it's really easy to feel like you have no power, honestly. It's really easy to feel like, you know you cannot really make a change with your own small actions. But I think that it's really encouraging when somebody, I mean, especially the people who are involved on this team with me, like I feel really encouraged to actually like maybe do something, and like, yeah, it's really hard to articulate because it is like, I don't know, it's like I feel very excited about the compilation, and like um now it's 60 people collaborating instead of one person collaborating to raise money. So I think that that can give a lot of hope to people and make them feel really encouraged. Even then, it's still very small, I would say, but like it's it's something. It's bigger than nothing, yes.
Of course, yeah. And not to get too personal, but have you felt like the process of creating these compilations has either strengthened or developed or even birthed a sense of purpose that you maybe felt or didn't feel before?
Mm. Yeah, in a way. I mean, I think something that has changed for me in the past year is that like I have really not been keeping up with the news at all. Like I I know what's happening, and like I think that it has been like more disillusioning, and um
Yeah.
oftentimes, yeah, just like more difficult to like actively keep up with the news. And also it can become like an addictive thing to keep up with the news. So I think, yeah, in general, like knowing that there there is there is a genocide happening, and like knowing that there is a lot of violence, um and yeah, pain and death, and like just, yeah, really, really harmful things, and not getting bogged down by the details of it because it is endless, has been encouraged. I feel like that has encouraged me to actually put my energy towards something that gives me hope. And like, yeah, I don't know, I don't want to get addicted to knowing all of the details of everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I want to do something about it really bad. But yeah, I mean,
Right.
I don't even know if that answers your question. Yeah, it's really heavy. I did not realize, like, yeah, I don't know, that, yeah, weight the weight is wild. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm grateful to be reflecting on it though.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
Um, so just a couple more questions I wanted to ask you in closing. You mentioned earlier that you know, you found it I, I I think I heard you say that it was rather easy to kind of realize this vision you had. I'm curious, like for anybody else who might be listening to this conversation or checking it out, and who might want to be finding a way to act or to do something, because that's what a lot of people are struggling with now as well. Is like, what can I do? Whether it be making a difference across the
Mhm.
world, or making a difference in their own
Yeah.
community, or in a city that's in another state nearby. What did you find to be the biggest challenges and the biggest and maybe some things that surprised you as being quite easy, as you went through the process of making these compilations?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, yeah, I want to go back. Hung on, amazing professor. I really, really appreciate her showing me and sort of giving me like the academic like validation of like, you know, engaging in like in mutual aid is not wrong. It's like it's really the only thing that like we have, like, and
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just like really grateful that she was in that, we were in that really formal setting of being in like an, extremely old university and like, you know, having that was just like something that I'm so grateful for. So, yeah, having that structure of being able to list out all of your skills and decide which one of your skills you want to use today, especially with your friends, that like kind of broke the code for me. I was like, oh my gosh, so many people have so many awesome skills that we can all use together. Um, yeah, I also was really inspired by the Stop Cop City movement in Atlanta. That was like just a lot of really great organizing was happening
mhm.
there, and like a lot of just like really experienced organizers just like sharing their skills and their knowledge. And um
Cool.
yeah, but your question was about the sort of the harder things and the things that came easier.
Mhm.
Like, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's very easy. That's sort of the crack of the code. So like being able to list out all your skills, that was like, oh my gosh, wow, it's actually so easy to practice mutual aid every day um with your friends. But
Sure.
yeah, I know we're running out of time kind of, but
Couple minutes left. Yeah.
yeah, we got a couple minutes. Yeah, when the timer comes on, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Okay.
But um but yeah, I guess my point is like, yeah, having conversations, reaching out to your immediate community, and
Mhm.
also like joining something that is already existing and learning from that and being open.
Right.
um
Okay.
the reason why I wanted to mention, yeah, like choosing to not watch the news is because I got discouraged by how much I didn't know. Like it was really easy for me to um get like, yeah, bogged down by like not knowing every single piece of information or like every step of, you know um legislation, or like every single moment that something is getting more and more fucked up, like, and I was realizing that that was actually like deeply distracting me from the core of it, which is,
That's right.
yeah, following my heart and like um leading with like what I truly feel is like real and what I want to practice. So like
Right.
I feel like that is like a massive thing. Like
Mhm.
it's okay to not know everything, and like it's actually impossible to not know everything. And um I don't want to let myself be distracted by that,
Sure. Sure.
again. I
Yeah.
want to try to not be distracted by that.
It's almost like when
I guess that was like the hardest thing to.
Yeah, it's almost like when you hear two nerds like talking about like comic books, and like they get so deep into the minutia that they alienate the people who like know peripherally like what they're talking about, but then they're like, all right, you lost me. I haven't watched that episode 5 times. Like I haven't, it's
Right.
just, it's sort of
Yeah,
like
that's fine.
you remove yourself kind of from the situation. So, okay, so we do have just a few seconds left. I'm going to put plugs to or websites to compilation and organizations that you're involved with in the description of the video. And
Nice.
I really, really can't thank you enough for the time that you've set aside to have this conversation. It's been a pleasure, Audrey.
Kurt,
Yeah.
yes.
I really,
You.
I'm getting older.